listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is Love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
I'm sure that's long enough.
You say 10 seconds. I feel like we were 30 in and it was fine for me to make a little noise.
Yeah, I definitely gave us way too long on that one. It was just a wee bit.
Sorry. Hopefully you got enough in
What
there.
are we doing now?
I was changing my lid.
Oh, yeah.
I like to look at my name.
We say, are you
Sorry.
ready? And then we're like, yeah, we're ready. And then 5 minutes into the episode, we're actually ready. Hold on, let me readjust everything.
That was nice of you to grab my lemon.
I'll grab your lemon. As
Are
long
we
as you
recording?
grab my lime. Yeah, you see a red dot?
Well,
The
I
red
do.
light?
Usually there's no intro today?
No,
No? Okay. Well, then we are going. Yay!
mhm.
Hi, people.
this is it. You look beautiful today.
Oh, my God.
It's probably hard to tell on camera, but you dyed your hair purple not too long ago.
Midnight purple. Midnight violet.
Midnight violet.
It's all midnight. No
Do you-
violet.
Are you liking it?
I actually am, except for the fact that now, because it's so dark, that the grays that I get right here, my silver glitter strands, go poof really fast.
You know, they call men the silver fox, right?
Yeah.
What's the equivalent for women?
Shimmer.
Shimmer?
It's my hair shimmer.
Your hair shimmer? I like your hair
hair
in
shimmer.
all of its tones and shades and
Yeah?
everything like that.
Do,
Yeah.
do you like the dark?
Mm-hmm.
Do you like it super dark?
It is definitely darker.
Yeah, it's definitely darker. You know how you have the dry shampoo women use?
Yes.
Okay, so you
I
can
don't
you
have
don't
a
have to
clue.
wash your hair every day, so you can go longer without washing your hair because washing your hair is kind of harsh on your hair. And so the longer you can go, it preserves the dye color and healthier. It can't go as long as men can go, but there's dry shampoo.
Hold on, I want to pause for a moment.
What?
The longer you go without washing your hair, the healthier it is for your hair.
Yes, but you
okay,
can't
that's good.
go.
That's good. No, I just wanted that on tape.
But
Okay.
I can't
Continue.
do it as long as I can only go so long before it's a mess. Anyways, the natural hair stuff is cornstarch. You can put a little cornstarch in your hair. They say baby powder, but talc is bad for you. So cornstarch, a little bit of that, and you do your thing, and then you're ready to go. And then
So cornstarch is dry shampoo.
you can use it as dry shampoo, and it's healthy.
Okay.
As opposed to the chemical dry shampoo that you put in, or talc, which is crappy. So women are like, yeah, go on. And how many women out there right now are saying, like, you serious? You dumbass, you did it with black hair? I'm like, I did. And I was like, oh, I'm gray. Oh, it took a lot of rubbing
Washing.
and brushing and flipping before I stopped being like skunk looking. I was like, oh shit. I really showed the contrast in the color. But I got it. It just took a little more
That works.
vigor.
It looks beautiful. It
Thank
really
you.
does. I can't see any cornstarch.
Well, thank you.
Only beautiful hair.
Well,
I think that Stephanie and I have this ongoing, long-running, I guess it's an argument or a debate or a,
Okay.
what is it?
I don't know what you're talking to, so I don't know.
The debate, the
Conversation?
argument. No, it's definitely an argument.
Oh, okay.
The argument.
Am I winning?
Sometimes.
How about now?
How about?
You're still not getting it out. So if I'm winning, because they don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good job. You won.
Yay.
About washing your hair.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't wash my hair. Now, it's
Very
not to say,
often.
yeah, it's not to say I don't ever wash my hair.
Yeah, you
but
wash it.
I go a really good long time in between washing my hair. I get it wet, obviously, and I comb it, and I'll put coconut oil in it from
Mhm.
time to time. But very, very rarely do I ever shampoo and wash my hair. Now, some might think that that's disgusting, and if that's the case, then you're
We're
dead
not
to me.
talking to you.
But I enjoy it. I think it's healthy for my hair. I think my hair is healthy. I think there's nothing wrong with it. I don't think I stink.
You don't. I would tell you, I'd be like, this experiment is done.
Yeah, like I don't think I have nappy ass hair.
But how do you do your hair?
I usually just put it up, obviously.
Uh-huh.
So I don't understand your point.
Well, because
Do you
I
want me
like
to let it down? I usually don't let it
You
down for the
can-
podcast.
It's.
Let's let this froey flow down.
I like your hair.
It's a little still damp from my shower today.
It is a little still down from your shower today.
I'll leave it down
And you
for
got
you.
it down, but you still got this like slick back look,
Okay.
and it's good. No,
What's better?
Oh my God, can you?
I'm listening.
I don't want my hair to always be slicked back.
How do you want it to look sometimes?
Like I've washed it.
Yeah, but anyways, the
I
argument
like it to have some bounce and some flow.
the argument that we have, if you're only listening to this, go to YouTube and you can see Craig's fro. Beautiful hair. Craig's beautiful hair.
Yeah.
The argument that we have is that I try to talk you into just not washing your hair.
You
like,
do.
stop washing your hair.
And I don't do what Craig wants me to do. I wash my hair.
That's the name of the episode. I don't do what Craig wants me to do.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's, well,
There's
guess what? I do a lot of shit you want me to do, so shut up.
Should we compare and contrast our to-do lists of things? You know what I do lately?
What's that?
Hold on. I think you're bumping up
Oh,
against.
sorry.
You're rubbing some sort of
Yeah, I
mic cord.
am.
Keep rubbing it.
I think we're okay.
Oh God, I was doing something recently. Oh, when I went to the store to get supplies for my upcoming trip,
Yeah.
I didn't actually, but I looked for elderberry.
God damn it. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Where'd you look?
Solberg's.
Where? Because I can tell you right where it is.
In the place where all the medication is.
Did you look in the
stuff.
medication or did you look at the supplements?
I did both.
No, you didn't.
I did actually. I went around every single fucking row in that little section.
There's only one place it's at.
Well, I did
Why
not.
didn't you tell me that when I was out? Like, okay.
Anywho,
So I'm gonna have to go to Twilla after the podcast.
you're definitely not doing that.
Hmm.
You're definitely not doing that. I have to cook dinner after the podcast. I made a very special
I'll
dinner to
drive
prepare for
fast.
all of us. Anyways, that is something that I am doing because you want me to.
You're not doing it. I'm calling them. Like, pull the elderberry. I know you have some.
I'm taking into consideration what you want. I can take the syrup. I'll take the syrup and
You
drink
can't
the syrup.
take the syrup.
Yeah, you can. You can take liquid on the plane.
You have to take a syrup. You know they'll throw it away.
They won't. Not for
It
me.
has to. Oh, Jesus.
Not for me.
Okay. I think it's too big. It has to be like what, 7?
Definitely what she said. She said that. I think
I'm
this
not
is too
sending
big.
you with the syrup.
I think this is too big. You better throw this away.
Do you have any more in your pack?
Okay. The point of the conversation was.
Oh, it's all about
let's find
elderberries
Craig,
now.
Elderberry. The
Yeah.
point of the conversation was
I've got dried elderberries.
you don't need to wash your hair anymore. That's the point
That's
of the
the
conversation.
point. Well, guess what, Craig? I'm still gonna fucking wash my hair, and I'm going to Twilla.
So
You're bossy.
sometimes, only with love. Sometimes, most of the time.
Bossy. Bossy. I love you.
I love you. This episode, we wanted to recap a couple of things that we have
Did we?
watched recently. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm a little chilly.
Put your coat on.
I brought a coat, but now my legs are not warm.
You should have brought a throw. You should have brought the purple blanket from our bed.
Oh my god. It matched my hair.
Yeah, that would have been amazing.
I'm going to next podcast.
We eventually are moving inside, but I want to prolong it as long as we can because I love sitting out here.
I do too, which is why sorry about all the noise.
You're okay.
It's why what's my hair? I'm stuck. I'm stuck.
That wouldn't happen if you didn't wash your hair.
I don't think that's fact. Sorry about your toes. I even have socks and shoes and pants today. And I'm cold.
Do most days you not? I think
No, most days I do not. Most days it's like
most days you're pretty dressed
most
for the
days I'm
podcast.
naked. No, I have like flip flops, no socks, maybe. I don't know.
It's still nice.
Probably leggings.
It's not too cold yet.
Yeah.
So
I've done shorts.
we're going to recap a couple of things as far as like, oh my gosh, my brain.
I'm uncomfortable. This is not a comfy coat. I couldn't find the one I wanted to wear.
Well-
And so I grabbed this one, and I don't like how it feels on my body.
I think it looks great.
Thank you.
You're so pretty.
Thank you.
First and foremost, we watched the HBO series, whether it's technically HBO or HBO Max. I don't know what they're calling things these days. But it's the new series that came out recently called Raised by Wolves. And I was excited to watch it. Don't give it away immediately. Your disgust for the episode for the show. You have to give spoiler alerts abound. So everything we're going to be talking about this episode, if you haven't watched any of this, then you're screwed.
Sorry.
But the reason I wanted to watch it was because one of the writers or directors or executive producers or however they call themselves important was Ridley Scott, who was responsible for all the Alien films.
Okay.
So that's why I was excited to watch it.
Could have been. Is that?
The premise of the show is Earth is dying and or dead, and they have found another planet to colonize. And there's two factions of people left, very similar to Democrats and Republicans. But the way they break it down in the show is atheists and people that believe in their religious
Religious-controlled subjects.
They call it, what do they call it? Soul.
Sun.
Instead of God, it's soul. And so those are the two factions of people that are left on Earth.
Religion-controlled.
And the believers, the non-atheists, set out in a spaceship and traveled to this new planet in hopes of recolonizing and setting up. And there's like thousands of them, obviously. I don't know if that's obvious or not. And then the atheists, one specific atheist who is a scientist, sends two androids, two robots, two artificially intelligent robots, sends them on a special mission, and they have the ability to grow human babies. It's super bizarre.
He's not doing a good job.
This is exactly what the show is about. So in the end, Smurfs come out of the planet, and we find out that it really was where Gargamel and the Smurfs lived. So that's the show.
Keep going.
Well, we don't need to give the entire synopsis of the entire show, but it gives you a little bit of it started out really good.
Really good.
Yeah, it started
then it
out
got
really
weird.
interesting.
Like, even when it was weird, it was good. It was good. And then I got like, oh, that's so weird. And then it was like, that's what you did with it?
Yeah, they had us all the way up until the final episode. The
season finale.
Yes.
Right?
The season finale.
And then we were like...
And then the season finale, it's like they went ahead, like they were all very sober and conscious and like focused as they were writing the entire series until they got to the last episode. And then they were just like, hey, do you guys really care? No, I don't really care. Just do whatever. Yeah. And then they just like did whatever. And it was fucking terrible. It ended so dumb and poor and pathetic and worthless. And immediately just made us think like, oh my God, we just wasted 10 plus hours of our life watching this show. It was miserable. Yeah. So that's our review. You're more than welcome to go and watch it yourself. Just know that you're probably going to enjoy it. Until the last episode. Until the very last episode. You could stop watching it then and be like, man, that was good. Yeah, it was so dumb. Like they had such a good spin on robots, on AI and androids. And that was super interesting. I loved the way that they had the androids evolving. Like the one lead character, Mom. The mother, Ma. She evolved kind of throughout the show, and that was really cool. Father had dad jokes. It was awesome. Father did have dad jokes. I didn't realize that those were dad jokes. Really? That's funny. They were totally dad jokes. I realized that they were campy, cheesy jokes. You didn't put it together? You're so cute. I love you. That's hilarious. They totally are dad jokes. But it was a good episode. It was a good series all the way up until the very end. Yeah. So maybe they had, I mean, it's kind of Game of Thrones-ish, where Game of Thrones was amazing for like six seasons, and then the final episode was kind of a letdown. It was like, what? So it's way worse than that. Oh yeah, Game of Thrones is far better. Game of Thrones, obviously. I don't regret watching this one. I'm like, ugh. This one we're like, oh my goodness, let me cheat. It's not happy. Sorry. So that wasn't the important thing that we've been watching. No, what was the important thing? Well, we haven't been watching anything important, actually. We watched something important last night. Yeah, do you remember the name of it? Social
dilemma.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of.
So it's a new
I've got a
document.
couple of messages I will look at later. It's fine.
It's a new documentary on Netflix called The Social Dilemma.
Hold on, I've got a Facebook update. Want to look?
It's out right now. Are you still getting Facebook updates?
I'm playing into it.
Oh, what's that called? Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
You're so good at that. It's currently on Netflix, and you should go watch it. And we're gonna spoil it. So if you don't want to know about it and you want to go watch it first,
Are we
fine.
going to spoil it?
Yeah, we're gonna ruin the ending. Turns out social media is bad for you.
I think that was the beginning.
That's the end of the
Wait,
show
that was
too.
the middle. Was it the end too? Is
That's
there
what-
a plot?
That's what she said.
Oh, Jesus.
No, the focus of the show, they talked to a lot of insiders, a lot of people who worked in the tech industry over the years. People from Google, from Facebook, from Instagram, Pinterest.
Like the people.
Some of the people.
The only one that wasn't like the was like the...
Yeah, I don't know if they're the people. I mean, think about Google's a pretty big fucking organization, right? They're going to have a lot of people.
Okay, some of the...
Some of the important people that did some important things
They
over the
were
years.
important.
Definitely they weren't talking to the janitors.
No.
But
Who are also important people. That was rude.
that would be a good alternate documentary.
Who's going to have more information, honestly, than the people that nobody pays attention to and that they're walking through here and everything? If you want to get the information, you
janitors
go
are
to
just
the
going home.
janitors.
They're just going home shaking their head like, I don't know what these fucking idiots are doing. That's ridiculous.
They've got
He goes
all the
home,
information.
sits there and talks to his wife over roast beef at dinner, and he's just like, honey, you won't believe what they're doing this time. They spent 4 hours trying to decide whether or not the thumbs up button should be blue or not. I don't know what they're doing. But it's very interesting, and it breaks down not just the effects of social media, and it's not even just social media, but they... I'm going to ramble.
Okay.
So get your rambling pants on.
I wrote
The thing the documentary
had some drama. It
focuses.
did. It had a little bit of little drama flair to it. It wasn't a dramatization, but they did have like
It was totally a dramatization.
well, they had that like it was a documentary, but then they would do like little drama skits
Yes.
in it just to try and like
Yeah. To
emphasize a little bit. But they
yeah, to
would,
make
but it was very
land
much
and hit home even more so of how addicted we are to social media and to our phones.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one interesting thing that I thought that I wondered about. They didn't talk about cell phones at all. They only talked about,
they said smartphones.
well, in the sense that that's where we all consume this stuff.
Okay.
But they didn't have any part of the documentary that focused on specifically what smartphones are doing. So I thought about that halfway through, and I'll come back to that at some point. Anyways, they focused on Google, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Pinterest,
Gmail.
yeah,
That's what
Gmail.
Google.
That's part of Google. YouTube's part of Google, obviously, as well. But all of these tech industries that we use every day.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok.
Well, it was just a flare. They didn't really talk about it.
But they're all designed for one purpose and one purpose only, essentially. And that's just to get us addicted to them and so that we use them more. That's it. That's not a surprise, I don't think. I think everybody realizes that's the purpose of it. And it's not so that, like, I liked how they talked about, like, you think it's your Facebook feed, but it's really not. It's a feed designed for you so that you consume more of it. Like, you think that you pick what you like and you decide what you want to see and all that kind of stuff. And obviously that's not the case. All those algorithms are working to provide you content simply so that you engage and stay on longer so that they can have more ad revenue. All those ads that are everywhere across all of these platforms are just money makers for the ad companies and for the big businesses that come to these social media tech companies. And that's the sole purpose of all of it.
I had that moment of, I'm like, well, they got it wrong for me because my feed is crap. I have to keep scrolling to find something good. And you looked at me like, hello. It's like, oh, They're pretty good. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, Steph's algorithm's working perfectly
I'm like, this is dumb.
by giving her a bunch of shit that she doesn't want to look at, so she keeps scrolling.
Engage longer. Oh, there's something good.
Keeps playing the slot machine,
Right.
right? Until something pops up, and then they're like, "Oh, that's what I want to look at."
Yeah.
And see.
I probably wouldn't have connected the dots if you wouldn't have looked at me like, seriously? I was like, oh.
Yeah, it was really fascinating for a bunch of different reasons for me. Rather than continue to try to describe it to people, I'll just talk about what was like stood out for me. Like the idea that, first off, we know it's bad for us.
I've been saying that.
Well,
I've been saying that.
yes.
I have been trying to limit social media time. And then what happened?
You went off the deep end. I don't know what happened.
This guy happened. And his 46 accounts and constantly on there and pictures of your feet. Like, I couldn't beat him, so I joined him.
That's, I think, what a lot of people do. I
It's
think
their
a lot of
husband's
people
fault.
realize- it's definitely their husband's fault.
No, like a teenager scrolling through stuff. I'm like, how many likes did I get? 2. Yay. There's my dopamine hit.
My mom liked my post again. Thanks, Mom.
It helps my heart. I feel good about myself.
Does anybody else see these
Like-
besides my mom?
I think she just like searches out mine. I don't even know that I pop in her algorithm. She just like, what's Stephanie doing? Like, comment.
That's all you need. But what was fascinating to me was how they have tailored it so specifically for the psychological effect, as opposed to just like, let's give people what they want. It almost has nothing to do with that, right? It has to do with, let's give people's brains things that are going to keep them addicted and connected to it so that they keep coming back to it. That's the thing that was kind of like, I mean, I knew that on some intellectual level, but then like the way that they broke it down and talked about it, I thought was really interesting on how kind of deep that rabbit hole goes.
Yeah.
And how they write these algorithms and have these supercomputers. So it's like you punch in supercomputer, tell me this thing, and then the supercomputer will go out and grab all that information for that one specific thing, and then you can use that information to continue to write greater and greater algorithms so that you can refine the process even more, right? And all of it is, once again, just designed to make money. So those companies get richer, and the ad company, you know, I mean, that's all it is. It's just money.
Who's ever... I don't ever click on ads and subscribe or join groups or buy anything from ads on Facebook. Ever.
Never, ever?
Never. Yeah, it's fucking get me. It pisses me off.
Do they get you sometimes?
Oh my God. And it's funny too, because there's been some things I'm like, I am like, it's like I'm almost grateful, right? Like, I was looking for that. How did they know? And it's the thing that I want. And I look, or, you know, they'll pop up their cells, and I'm like, oh, thank you. I got free bracelets and free necklaces with some oils. You know?
Did that come from an ad?
No.
It totally did, huh?
Well, I know the product already. I already like it, but it pops up as the sponsored. So even though I like it, I follow the page I've had bought product from before, just them like looping that in. Or I found other ones because they're like, you like this, this, and this, so you're going to like this. And it's like, oh, I never knew that one. And I look. And so, yeah, I totally.
They get you.
It gets me. And that's, what did they say? They said there's only 2 groups that call their customers users.
Mm-hmm.
It was
tech companies
and
or software companies
Yes.
and drug dealers. Yeah.
So we're basically a bunch of social media junkies.
I mean, it's just straight up addiction. And it's not
Yeah.
even like, you think about that's what was fascinating to me, was the way that they have integrated into our subconscious. So it's not even a matter. I mean, it's like the same type of addiction that we have with sugar, where oftentimes people are oblivious to the fact that they're addicted to sugar and that their body is, do you know what I mean? Like, that's why you can't walk past something sometimes and be like, oh, I'm just not going to get it.
Yeah.
Because of
That
the
depends.
addiction process and what it's done to your brain. And they've created this technology to do the exact same thing,
Yeah.
which is really interesting.
It is really interesting. It's upsetting though. Like when they did the suicide studies on like how much it's increased with social media and social media use for, I mean, I was kind of pissed off that they didn't do it with the boys too. Like,
They mentioned the levels with boys,
I didn't hear that.
but it's not as
They did the girls, the like young, like older teenage teenage
preteen
girls
and teen.
and the preteen, and the levels are just through the roof. Like the suicide rates have gone through the roof because, and I don't need to say why. I mean, it's obvious. That's a self-explanatory thing. It's quite the tool.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they're realizing that it is actually killing our youth and nobody's doing anything, that's
Yeah, but that's the same old thing that, you know, the cigarette companies back in the day, same thing, right?
you just compared it to cigarettes.
Well, it's the same thing.
That's
The
the
cigarette,
level.
the cigarette companies
You're
realized.
proving my point. You're just solidifying it
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
right. We'd love to think that big technology would
Mm-hmm.
be like, oh, wait a minute, our product is hurting people and people are killing themselves because of our product. Maybe we should change our product. No, let's figure out how to make it so that they're more addicted to it and create different ways for them to stay on and use it more and more and more and more and more.
I'm going to go back and listen to our last episode we did on social media. I wonder how close it is.
Do you remember what episode that was?
I think it was called social stripping, but I don't remember the number.
Yeah.
Or stripping social.
Social media strippers on social
Should
media.
I find it?
It was
Because I'm pretty sure that it's about
Strippers Unite on social media.
See, I'm gonna click that. Oh, I
Some of
just
the-
went to the website. I don't want to go to the website.
Some of the other stuff that they focused on was Google and the way that Google works and how it'll give you different search results depending on where you're located, not necessarily truth or scientific facts or anything like that, but just search results based off of your geological or your geographical.
There's a lot to go through.
Not your geological, but your geographical location. And I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory too. I think we always knew that to some extent. All of the information
There's
wasn't.
some really good names here, babe. You're really good at naming these. I'm really enjoying this.
I don't think any of it was a surprise, but it's like looking at all of it at once.
Social Stripper Media, episode 162.
There you go.
Oh my God. What's today?
Today is.
Yeah, what's the 19th, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
The 20th. Today's
The
the 20th.
20th. Social Stripper Media came out October 13th, 2019. It was almost a year
Almost
ago.
a year ago.
We're like social media.
There we go. Once again, retrograde in full.
Right?
Right?
There's also a couple episodes about the retrograde. I got hair on my face.
That's what she said as well. I don't think that are you surprised by anything necessarily? Or is it just the totality of all of it kind of laid out in front of you at the same time that's overwhelming?
I think the suicide rates really bothered me and how much they're targeting the youth with that. I guess they're targeting everybody.
Yeah,
I
there's no
think
specific targeting.
I think
It's fucking people.
is people. I think that really got me. And I think the things that stood out is how the people that were directly involved, most of them left with ethical reasons. They were like, this isn't okay. This doesn't sit in my soul. So I'm going to walk away from this company, all this money, and try to go against, because like, I feel like it's hard to get people to walk away from money for ethical reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look at our politicians, right? That's kind of unheard of.
I thought about that though when they were talking about, because they interviewed these people they're like, yeah, I walked away for ethical reasons.
Why not?
That's really easy to say when there's not anybody else saying anything different.
Why not?
I'm not saying that they didn't,
Yeah.
but there's a good chance that some of them were just fucking fired. And then they
Probably
spun
because
it.
they stood up and said, this isn't right. And they're like,
I'd like to think that.
did you not?
mean,
you didn't send that email. You're a piece of shit. And you're fired.
I could very easily say that I walked away from law enforcement because of ethical reasons, right? And there wouldn't be anybody to say otherwise.
You know what really is irritating?
What's that?
Is that I find a silver lining and you're like, let's shit on that. Devil's advocate, the silver lining.
I have some silver linings for the
Oh.
entire documentary that stood out to me.
Okay, well, let's hear it.
Well, let's talk more about the rabbit holes that they went down.
I wasn't even done before you cut me off.
Go ahead, finish. I didn't cut you off. I was just interjecting my
I
thoughts.
know, but now my thoughts seem stupid.
No, they're not. Those people totally could have left those companies for ethical reasons, and they could be upstanding, moral people.
They could be. Why not? There are moral people out there.
Mhm.
They're a rarity, but they're there, and I would like
think
to
the
give
majority
them.
of us are moral, right?
Well, I
people.
mean, with the in that kind of world, and that kind of money, and that kind of power, and that kind of influence, that for their soul to shine brighter than their wallets is rare.
yeah.
But I like it, and when you see it, I don't want to be like, not really. I'm like, yes, let's celebrate you. But they were saying that they knew that the product, what it was doing, how damaging it was. They knew it was designed to be addictive, and yet they were caught in the loop, and they still couldn't break out of it, knowing damn well having a part of it and knowing what it was. They still couldn't break that addiction.
Yeah.
That was kind of like,
Oh,
wow.
yeah. Like, they go to work 9 to 5 or whatever, designing all of this stuff, knowing full well the effects of it and what they're doing, and then come home and can't get off their cell phone.
Yeah.
Still stuck on social media or Gmail or YouTube. Or the YouTube thing was very interesting to me,
Yeah.
because for a long time I used to think of it as just a stupid place to watch videos, right?
Yeah.
Nothing other than some place to watch videos and kill time.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we use YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe. But I haven't I haven't ever thought about the effects of, like, I've always thought about YouTube as the same detrimental thing that sitting and watching television for 8 hours would be the equivalent
Okay.
of.
Yeah.
And
But YouTube.
that's kind of the way that I looked at it.
Did you hear
right?
that? I was like, well, YouTube's educational. I've learned a lot of things from YouTube. I've bettered myself with the YouTube.
So YouTube can be educational.
Yes, it can.
And the dramatization that they had spun throughout the entire
Oh, that's right.
documentary, a lot of it was this character watching a lot of videos, and as he perpetually continues
was a
to
boy.
watch videos, they perpetually feed him more and more similar videos. And they also talked about how conspiracy theories like the flat earth theory or flat earthers, by the way, Stephanie and I are 100% flat earth believers.
You almost got it out.
We believe that the earth is flat and that it is in fact a huge lie trying to convince us of globes and round things. That's not real. It's obvious. You can just go outside and
Beers are
realize.
for losers.
I can look at my lawn right now and it's
Clearly,
flat.
it's flat.
So it's clear to me that the earth is flat, just like this table. If people just paid attention to the world around them, they would be able to tell. But it was interesting to see. And I just had never thought about it in the way that they feed you more and more stuff that you want to watch.
Yeah.
And that could potentially be detrimental. Because for me, it's always been silly stuff. I don't use YouTube for anything other than wasting time and watching.
Really? You fix stuff in the house too?
On the occasion,
vehicles?
right? On the occasion, but that's not what my Facebook or my YouTube feed is made up of.
I've learned a lot about 5-minute crafts. Let me tell you.
So it made me think yesterday, and it made me think about how much Asher watches YouTube. And one of the things that it made me think about was he watches Inside Edition for some reason.
He does.
So he has subscribed. Maybe he hasn't even subscribed. Maybe his whole feed is just full of Inside Edition.
He'll come up with some stuff.
That is
Like, where'd you hear that?
right?
Inside Edition.
Inside
Like,
Edition.
okay.
And then he thinks it's real.
Right? There's like no convincing him otherwise. He has
Yeah.
seen it and
Yeah, he's like, no, it's real. It was on
real.
YouTube. It's Inside Edition. It's very important
Yeah.
news. And so that suddenly clicked in my brain, even though I should have been well aware of that fact at some point. But it was like, oh, YouTube is clearly doing the exact same thing,
yeah.
designing algorithms to get us to engage and stay on their platform longer so that they can make more money.
Most of my rabbit holes have been on YouTube. I've spent more time, like, because I usually will get off at night.
That's what she said.
Aw, I'm embarrassed now.
Don't be embarrassed about getting off at night, baby.
Stop.
I get off in the morning. I get off in the afternoon. I get off at night. I'm getting off
That's
right
why
now.
your arm hurts.
That's why I got carpal tunnel in this damn thing.
I'm embarrassed. But when I think about it, I'm usually...
You get stuck in those YouTube rabbit
Yeah.
holes.
I will YouTube, because it's one video after the next. It's like, how should I be doing makeup at my age? How do I fix this? That's some glitter. What could I do with that plastic bottle? I would like to reduce my carbon footprint. And it just, I'm watching stuff. I'm figuring out how to, the tasty videos.
I'm not familiar with those.
Or I think they're called tasty. I don't know.
What
They're
do
like,
they have?
they make yummy food, yummy snacks.
And you like watching those?
I do, and then I get hungry, and then I figure out how to, like, I don't know, work off the snacks, and then build shelves, and yeah, YouTube has been.
It's incredibly detrimental.
It's incredibly,
and
it just
once
didn't
again,
even click it.
the sole purpose is for them to make money. That's it.
I didn't even like ding on it on the show. I was like, what was really about YouTube? Like it's like it's a blind.
Yeah,
I
it's a
didn't
blind
realize
spot
it
'cause
till
you
right
like using
now
it so
that
much.
I want to get on YouTube right now. YouTube's actually YouTube's a problem. Shit,
It's very addictive.
It's very addictive.
Yeah.
I
So
don't even know.
some of the things that stood out to me was not just that, right? I thought about our son and how we're definitely going to change the amount of time that he gets to spend on YouTube.
That's why you limited his time. Good job. I'm
going
now
to
in
limit
support.
it even more.
Are you?
Yeah.
What are you going to limit it to now?
An
30
hour.
minutes? An hour?
Yeah.
An
And
hour
I think
of
an
YouTube?
hour is way too much.
You know what's funny? I'm like, that's so mean.
so mean.
I think you need to limit mine to an hour. Can you do that on my phone too without
can,
me knowing?
actually,
I
if
think
you'd
I need
like.
to be like, that's all the YouTube you get.
We'll put you on the same family account that Asher's on, and I'll start monitoring your YouTube.
I'm going to do that with your Instagram and Facebook though.
Nope. Sorry.
See?
Yeah, no, I'm the same way.
Yeah.
What was interesting was I recently had a YouTube account that I had for 600 years. It was the original account that, for whatever reason, back in the day, when I signed up or started watching YouTube or whatever, I don't even know how it got created, but it was my YouTube account that I used.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I would log in using a new device or online or anything like that, this is just simply the account that would show up.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal.
Isn't that what your main account is? No, you're fine.
Yeah. And so it knew me very, very well, right? And it gave me a feed of information that I very, very much liked and I would watch.
Yeah, YouTube's good.
It's very good. And I recently realized, because Google recently got rid of Google Play Music, and then they switched to YouTube Music.
I'm
And
really unhappy about that.
it's a long story of why, but basically I had to delete that account because I was unaware of the fact that I was listening to that account on YouTube Music instead of my other account. It was just this long story. So I had to delete that old account and then went with this other account that is really, in fact, connected to my Gmail account or connected to my Google account.
What's that one?
Just plain old Craig.
Plain old Craig?
Yeah.
Sarah
So-
Plain and Tall?
Craig plain and tall. And so now my YouTube feed sucks because I haven't been watching it for a long time. And so it's like I have to cultivate the feed in order to give me stuff that I like. But
Fucking
yet,
YouTube.
when I get on there, I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to fucking be on here. There's nothing to fucking watch because it's all dumb shit.
You might be able to break free.
I might.
I'm already like feeling bad for you. I'm like, what are you going to do?
Well, it's funny because I had to like go through and what do I subscribe to? And then I had to like find the stuff that I subscribe to. So then it can start
God
populating
damn
my
it,
feed.
YouTube. You are a slippery bastard.
It is very, very slippery.
I'm going to go in and watch YouTube.
You want to watch it right now?
I
We're gonna
do.
Pause for
Like,
the next 3.5 hours.
I am addicted to YouTube.
Yeah.
I am 100% addicted to YouTube. I got a lady boner for it.
They talked about some of the ramifications of this stuff, other than the obvious things. It's bad for you. It's an addiction. People can't put it down. It's causing us to, the way that we connect with each other or lack thereof and those kind of issues. But then they went deeper and they talked about some of the political effects that it has, as well as like the international, just on the bigger scope of things of how it is able to be manipulated. So they talked about like Russia manipulating the election back in 2016. And the way that they described it was they didn't do anything illegal. They just used the system as it is. And instead of using it to make money or provide ad space, they just used it for nefarious reasons. So they used the system that was already built as a way to conquer and divide our country during that election. And rightfully so, they've continually done that and are still doing that in some way, shape, or form, I'm sure.
Everybody gets along fine over here.
Right. And we do the same thing. I have no doubt that America is doing the exact same thing in other countries.
They are. What were they talking about? I don't want to say it wrong because I don't want to. Oh, now I feel bad.
We can throw conspiracies out there.
Well, I was going to, but I can't get the names right.
NSA?
No.
What's his name?
No. Quit. You're not even on the same page.
Cool.
Where they've harmed countries, harmed other countries.
Myanmar.
There. Thank you. God, I am so sorry. But yeah, what they've done, the pictures that they were showing, the levels that have come through there, was like, how is that happening? They were going as far, they said, as when you buy a cell phone, they will program Facebook on your phone and open an account for you.
And then hand you your phone.
So you're already right there and like can get
So
all
a
of
lot
that
of
program too.
A lot of third world countries, a lot of these countries that are, where the internet has finally arrived, even though it's been around for a really long time.
Can you imagine?
And people are able to have cell phones now everywhere. For them, the internet isn't getting on to www whatever it is.
Only 3 normally.
It's Facebook. That's what the internet experience is for them.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
And they're like, here, we'll make sure. Here's your account.
Here's your account.
So all of that, those, what is it called? Damn it. All I can think of is algorithms, but with the demographics. So when you have ads and things and feeds that are targeted to demographics, it's already targeted there. So as soon as they start, they're already getting that coming through. So their brains are already being pushed in that direction.
Yeah. So, and then one of the other things that they talked about too was, and it's all stuff that we're seeing right now, like literally right now, it has been playing out for a long time, but it's almost been heightened this year. And I think part of the reason why it's been heightened, like you and I've talked about this before, part of the reason I feel like COVID has been such an issue this year and the ways that it has been, I mean, part of the reason why so many different things have become such an issue is because we do have this
Social
connectedness and these devices so that we can stream and connect and give all of this information out 24/7. And on paper, that sounds great if we just leave it there. But the problem is the information isn't accurate.
Yeah.
And so you're giving out information.
Sometimes.
I mean, we could almost say the majority of the time, right?
Unfortunately, yeah. But
If I shoot a video right now and then I shoot it out and then I label the video, watch our little Built Bar sponsor box over there.
Shit. We ate them all, so it's light because they're delicious. Those empty boxes.
By the way, go to builtbar.com and enter in Energy is Love to save 10%.
It's delicious. Thank you,
But
Lynn.
all the information it's one of two things, I think. It's either not the entire picture or it's not real.
Wow, those are your only 2 options?
I think so.
Okay.
Because think about how it's so easy to cut, edit, paste, create, Photoshop, anything.
Yeah, but I think that's how the truth, because I don't believe that.
You don't think those are the 2 options
No.
for information that's disseminated throughout the world via the internet and social media?
No, I think that that is a very commonality of it, and I think that is the majority. And I think that they, the propaganda adjusting mind controllers rely on the fact that people know that's a thing. So when we do have real footage come out, people will question it and not believe the truth. So I think they use that and will throw stuff out there and show how easy it is to manipulate stuff, which it is, just so when the truth comes out, they can hide in plain sight.
So this one thing right here that we're talking about, the way that you and I can't agree upon this thing,
Well, I'm right, you're wrong.
is the problem.
Okay, I don't think that's a problem. I think
It-
that
no,
we
no,
don't
no.
agree.
No.
Why is that a problem?
It is the problem.
But we should have different opinions so
Yes.
that we can see a bigger picture. Why do we have to agree and be the same?
In a perfect world, those opinions should be based off of fact. And we should get that fact from information. Right? Whether it be in person, real life, like I experienced this in person. For me, this is like in person. I'm grabbing this tree. This is a leaf. It's a willow tree
Quit hurting my tree.
in my backyard. Right?
Yes.
It's not a video. Suddenly somebody's watching this on YouTube.
So you're saying if people watch this, they can't believe, okay, the willow tree is here. Is that a lie? What are you saying? I'm sorry. I want to follow because.
Well, hopefully I'll be able to explain.
Okay.
Because it makes perfect sense in this brain.
Good. Let's hear it.
In this flat earth brain.
You should probably let them know you're joking.
Maybe I'm not. People listening, maybe I believe that it's flat. I think there's a dimension where the earth is flat. How about that?
Okay, talk about the tree. What's your theory?
Is the tree even there?
Oh,
we're
boy.
in the Matrix.
Okay. Did you take the red pill or the blue pill?
That was the thing that they talked about in the. That was one of the big issues that we're facing right now, is the polarization of people, so that basically and you and I have had this conversation recently where we want to bring. Not we. I think it would be an interesting episode to bring somebody on who is a 100% Trump supporter, somebody that is going to vote for him, somebody that believes that he's an awesome president and that he does all these amazing things and that nobody really sees the value in President Trump. I think it would be a very interesting episode to bring that person on and not have a debate with them. I'm not interested.
You think they cannot debate, though?
Well, if we find the right person,
Okay.
right? I'm not interested in having a debate and
A rational Trump supporter.
I'm not trying to have them. I don't want to be convinced that Trump's the greatest thing, and I'm not trying to convince them that Trump's the piece of shit that we think he is. I just want to have a conversation that normalizes two sides that would be portrayed as complete opposites.
So you want to find a Trump supporter but not talk about politics at all?
No, we can definitely talk about politics, but what I'm saying is that person, that fictional person that doesn't exist, because no, that person that's out there, they're normal like we are. And part of the problem is
you were saying this, and we walked by somebody that had a Trump flag out and
But this is
Confederate flags in their garage. It's like, that's nope.
Yeah, those people were not interviewing.
That
Okay.
is not nice people.
Yeah, those people were not interviewing at all. But this is part of the problem, is you
Okay.
have people that are supporting one side of the story, and then you have people that are supporting the other side of the story.
Agreed.
And all of the information that you and I are getting to support our side of the story, we are being fed through these platforms.
So we might not be getting all the information.
There is no might, Steph.
Well, I know, but
There's
I
100%. Hold on. Not only are we not getting all of the information, we are getting information strictly tailored towards us so that we continue to engage with that information.
True.
So we are being fed information on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and the internet when I search out things in Google. When I click on Google News and go and look, they give me articles specifically so that I will click on them. So they're going to give me more and more information that I agree with. Suddenly my world looks like this is all that is real.
Yeah, I agree.
And on the opposite side, you have Trump supporters and people on the other side of the political spectrum who are doing the exact same thing.
But what about all the negative things?
Hold on. We have
Okay.
to separate from right or wrong here. We just have to look at it as the exact same thing on two opposite sides of the spectrum.
I can't look at sexual assaults as, well,
Okay.
let's not count that.
But that is information that we are being fed via our avenue stream, our information stream.
But that's
So hold
also-
on. So just that one thing. Let's talk
Okay.
about President Trump raping and sexually assaulting people over the course of his entire life.
Okay.
That is information that we have disseminated and been fed through our stream of information.
I feel like I'm sitting next to a Trump supporter.
Now, the Trump
like that.
supporter who argues with
He says it's okay.
whether or not they say it's okay or whether or not they don't believe that it's true, that is information that they have been fed through their information stream.
There's literally, like, you can't.
I'm trying to make a big
can't-
point.
I'm trying.
'Cause
but
it has
there's
nothing to do with
literally
one is right or
people
wrong.
in cages separating families, and they don't give a shit.
Okay,
How?
but
how
where
can
did you
we-
get that information? I'm not questioning it and saying it's wrong. I'm saying, where did you get it?
Internet?
Right? You got it through your specifically
So,
tailored...
but you're saying it's wrong, then? You're saying
I'm not saying anything's right or wrong here. It's
Okay.
not a matter of right or wrong.
is anything that he's done after those points, is anything redeemable, though?
Okay, hold on a minute. Because
God, make your point.
The point I'm trying to make has nothing to do with Trump.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's stop
We can-
talking about him because you're
can-
about to
and-
sleep on the couch.
We can put in anybody into that.
Okay.
We can talk about God and Satan. We can talk about.
Okay, just what's your point?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, let's do
It
that.
only has to do with the way that these technology companies, these tech companies, feed us information.
Yes.
And the sole purpose of them feeding us information is so that we engage more, so that they make more money.
True.
And the way that they have figured out the way to get us to engage more is feed us information that is going to do that. So all of our information, I'm not going to any other news sources other than shit online.
Okay.
I'm using Google, YouTube, Facebook, and I don't really use Instagram for news.
Yeah.
But
Do you ever get on news channels?
I get on, like, I go to Google News,
Yeah.
right?
Do you ever go into any local news channels or anything?
I go to KSL, so our local news station here is KSL.
One of them.
One of them. Sometimes I go to some of those other, but they are doing the exact same thing,
Yeah, true. I don't.
right? And that's local news.
Yeah.
And where do you think their international or world news comes from?
We should be watching the BBC.
Why? Do you think
Because
the
it's
fucking
not
BBC
in the
is
United
any
States.
different?
I don't know. I think it's something different, and it's something outside of the spin that this nation is putting.
So this isn't even.
I don't know, but I want to try to find something different.
This isn't even like the red or blue conversation. This isn't the Democrat Republican
Yeah,
conversation.
it's just whatever
This is simply-
disseminated.
Exactly. This is where
Should we
we
go
are.
to? What did Rogan say? What's his search
Hold
engine?
on.
No. Okay.
DuckDuckGo is his search engine.
Is it just not tracking, or is it unbiased?
We're not going to go down that road. I'm not done with this point I'm trying to make.
Okay.
So the thing about all of this is we cannot judge those people that think differently than us because they are getting information through their through their information stream. Now, their information stream is specifically designed for them to get them to engage and click more, just as ours is.
Yeah.
And we know that both information streams have been shown to be false.
Yes, I do agree with that.
So it's not to say that everything is false, but it's silly for us to sit here and think that more of our stuff is right and more of their stuff is wrong. Because it's an equal balance of truth and fake. Truth and fake.
I don't think that's accurate.
It's 100% accurate,
I
Steph.
don't, because you have I'm sorry, but I don't feel like I'm being unfair to people that are racist. And no, I don't agree. They support, no, I'm pretty.
You keep
healthy.
saying they or them.
Yes,
You're
I am,
referencing these people.
These
now,
people,
the
because
fact
it's the
is
separation.
that is
You're getting your
information that has
conversation
come
on.
through your
I'm
news
watching.
source.
Okay, it is information that's come
What are
through
you
my
watching?
source, but it is not just
Unbiased news sources?
Okay, do you want to hear what I'm watching?
I'm getting
Yeah,
excited
just-
because I like these kind of
I do not like these conversations. I'm watching people that I know personally and people that I'm related to that are Trump supporters posting fucking shit that I'm like, how in the hell are we on the same tree? Like, what is happening?
Because they're getting that through their news sources, through their information stream.
There is enough. See,
Here's another thing. Are you
I
ready?
feel like there's too much information out there for you to really not be able to see it from both sides, to not see something else, and to be able to make
Hold
an
on.
informed decision and be like, no,
Hold on.
I struggled, so it's okay that I'm over here on my white, and women shouldn't be able to say what the,
Do you think
God and white.
Hold on, this is a
God
really
and
good
white.
This is a really good point. Do you think that you are seeing those family members, those people that you follow, those people that you're friends with, do you think you're seeing their posts just simply because you're friends with them and you follow them? Or do you think you're seeing those posts because those posts are then inserted into your algorithm to get you to engage more?
I think it's to get me to engage more. But what I do beyond that is I see is like this one. I look for patterns. So when I see that post, I'm like, no, not my sweet so-and-so. And
But
I
you see
click
that
on
post-
and then I look at
look,
all their stuff.
Look, I
know.
click on
It's a
and then I
clickbait.
look at all of that shit
But
so that the company makes more money. So you're being fed that simply so that you engage
why?
more. What do you mean why? It's
okay,
so that they
pick up your
make more.
goddamn cards.
It's so that they
I'm
make
sorry,
more money.
I'm over the social media and I'm all over the politics now. So I don't care if Facebook's making money by me finding out that like
We're
I
getting
have
the
some
dogs worked up back
family
there.
that needs to like really dig into their Jesus boots and figure out what's good and what's not really. Is that really what?
Dig
that's
into their Jesus boots.
Like,
I want a pair of Jesus
this
boots.
is what God wants. This is like really how I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that gods do not. No. It's so hard to not go off on tangents, and I immediately feel like I need to be silenced in that, and so I stopped because, I don't want to get riled up. I don't want to be too emotional. No, it is not okay. It is not okay to destroy women. It is not okay to put them as a sprawled out display for men. It is not okay to show men that their only purpose in life is to be strong and abuse women. It is not okay for every white person around to think that they are better because they are white and treat anybody who is less than. It's not okay for somebody that is not white to be afraid to walk next door. Like, there was one of the things that Asher was watching, and somebody got shot and went to a door, and they were like, whew, went to the right door. Because how many people are going to open up their door to somebody that if a white person got shot, a white woman got shot, oh my gosh, opening the door, how can we help? You put a black person or Hispanic person that is shot coming to the door, what are they going to do? Slam the door because, surely there's something bad coming behind. So I'm not okay with that. That is not. I'm so not okay, and I can't be quiet.
Do you feel like I'm sitting here saying I'm okay with it?
I feel like you're saying that maybe. I don't know, Craig. I really don't know,
what
and
the
it
fuck you're saying.
upsets me a little bit. I'm looking at the crescent moon over your head, and I'm like, I know
the moon
my
coming out?
husband is a good man that loves people, but you're really fucking pissing me off. Sometimes I have to breathe and be like, I don't know. But I guess that's what the problem is right there, is because I am so 100% sure that they are wrong and they. I don't even know if I can sit in that same space and look at somebody and say, okay, interesting point of view. Tell me why. And I'm like, I don't want to share the same air as you. Go.
You know what I find is fascinating?
What's that?
That.
You got me all riled up.
I know. All of these things that we're talking about right now, specifically, these different polarization topics, these left and right, Democrat, Republican, black, all these kind of different things, right?
Yes.
They're two, right? They're binary. They're good and bad. They're light and dark. They're good and evil. They're
It's supposed to create balance, not duality, though.
What I'm getting to is I find it fascinating that as humans, as the human race, we have consistently stayed within that binary structure for the course of time. So back 500,000 years ago or 5,000 years ago, it was, right, the God and Satan, or the gods up on Mount Olympus. And do you know what I mean? There's this polarization of good and bad, and we are still in that cycle, that binary, either one or the other, still to this day. And all social media is doing is capitalizing on that ingrained part of us, where we have to have some, like, there has to be some evolutionary reason behind that. There has to be something that is perpetuating the survival of our species in just the continual circle of good and bad, or two opposite sides. That's very, very fascinating to me.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me. That's something that I want to sit on and think about a little bit more.
Okay.
Because do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do.
Like, I think it's really interesting that we could have the same conversation 1,000 years ago, where it would be something different, where I would be on one side of the fence and you would be on the, and I'm not saying you're on the other side of, obviously you and I are on the same side of the fence, but
Is that obvious?
what I'm saying is that the human race, people, have this binary way of looking at things where it's one or the other. There's only two options. And whether it's simply because we grow up on this planet, we're born on this planet, and we live on this planet that is night and day.
That's how we were taught that. Like, what would it be like raised with wolves if we were never taught about good or bad, right?
Yeah, but I don't think it has
Light or
anything to
dark.
do with just the way that we're taught. I think there's, once again, for me, it always goes like much deeper into like the biological makeup of our DNA. There's something about, and like I said, whether it is just simply that we've existed on this planet where there's only two options for night and day. We don't have a third option where it's
Dusk and dawn.
right.
There's 4.
4.
Yeah, midday.
So maybe there's 4.
Midnight. I got you
Dusk and
6.
dawn and
I've
night
got you
and
a
day.
few.
Okay. So maybe that's how we have to start shifting and looking at perspective.
Okay.
Because that's
I'm
the
not
thing
gonna
is,
be nice to racist.
you don't have to be nice to racists. That's not what I'm
Or-
trying to. Obviously, I'm not arguing any devil's advocate stuff here. This is all strictly information that was disseminated through this stupid documentary that we watched.
So how do I look at it differently? How do I not dig my heels in and be able to listen?
Here's the silver lining.
What is the silver lining, Craig?
Now we come all the way back to the end.
Oh, what is it?
So
Delete Facebook.
we will be
Not YouTube, though. YouTube's okay.
canceling this show and our Facebook accounts.
Oh, my goodness.
No, we're not going anywhere anytime soon. But the documentary highlighted this issue that exists, and the people that they interviewed made it sound like it was the end of the world.
They also spoke about the silver, like the
Hold
intent. Okay.
Right? They made it sound like, what are we supposed to do? We don't even know.
Yeah.
How are we going to fix this problem? It's leading only to the destruction of the human race and civil
They
war.
said checkmate on humanity,
Right?
was the phrase they used. Yeah.
And so what I realized was those people are very much in that space. Like the one redheaded guy that they was kind of the lead of the show. I don't remember his name. He was a Google guy, and now he started some other tech company
it was Google.
that's going to be right.
Oh, it was humane
Technology or something,
I
whatever.
think it is. I can look that up real fast.
It doesn't matter. People can go watch the
Jesus.
documentary.
Okay.
But his life is that stuff.
Okay.
So that's all he's thinking about. That's all he's looking at. That's all he's focused on. So for him, everything is that. Right?
Okay.
The reality is this. I mean, we got our neighbors back here with these goddamn fucking yappy dogs.
Center for Humane Technology, Tristan Harris.
Right? So that guy. He thinks
Does that
it's-
mean I'm like the equivalent of Jamie now?
No, you're much
Say
better
something.
than young
That was
Jamie.
close. Did you catch that? You. Ooh, that was close. That was.
This is the silver lining.
Ooh.
We got to wrap up because I got to go cook some salmon.
Okay. Okay.
The silver lining
You're
is
blushing a little bit.
it only looks that doom and gloom to them because that's all they're looking at.
Okay.
And that's all that they see. And when we really expand outwards from that,
Jesus.
it's really not that big of a deal. Is it important? Is it something that we need to address? Yes. But at the end of the day, we go down to Solberg's. That's our local little
We
grocery
do.
market. Hold on.
Okay.
We talk to people there. We interact with people. We're nice to people. We help people. Somebody that we see at Solberg's out in the parking lot needs their car jumped because their battery's dead. We're going to jump their car. We're going to go out of it. We might even give them a ride home with their groceries and bring them back with their jumper cables. All of these things. When you look at it in these small little ways, that's the way that the majority of the world runs. It doesn't run in this big macro way that they're looking at it. That's just because that's all that they're looking at. But the reality is people are still good people. All these assholes that are in this Trump parade every weekend that drive around with their Trump flags that are racist and terrible and awful people, they're the same people that are going to, like, you know, we sit next to them at cross-country meets when we're there with Asher. We see them in the checkout line and talk to them. We hold doors for them. They do the same for us. All of these people are good people. And if we start looking at the smaller portions of society rather than looking at this great big grand picture that is only doom and gloom, we'll realize it's not to say it's not important. It's not to say that it's a big deal, but the reality is keep it in proportion and keep it simple, right? No? Maybe?
Well, fuck.
Good silver lining?
Yeah, that's a good silver lining. Start watching the good so you can make more of that grow and less of the, like, let's see what else is possible. What better can we create? How much better?
Right.
Get on
Let's
there.
forget about all of these polarizing things that we're being fed only so that people get richer. Because we aren't getting richer by what we watch on YouTube. The people that designed and created YouTube, they're the
Thank
ones
you.
that are getting richer.
I didn't hurt it. I was trying to save it.
Right?
Well, yeah.
So just remember, take it all with a grain of
Well,
salt.
do you know what you could do with that?
What?
You could quit being like a fucking instigator and pushing my buttons and then being like, baby, why don't you calm down? Like, because you just fucking riled me up. Knock it off. I'm nice and peace and calm. And then you're like, watch this. And then be like, what? Why don't you just be calm, baby? Fuck off. I love you.
I love you. We got to go eat dinner. I got to go make some food for us to
Yeah,
eat.
you do.
Go watch Social Dilemma on Netflix. And don't watch Raised by Wolves on HBO Max.
Or do. Maybe it's wonderful and that's what you want to see. What do we know? There's another thing to look at. Maybe we were just stuck into your feed and you would really
Hold
like
on.
it.
If we are on your YouTube feed, trust it. If you are being fed Energy is Love podcast on any social media platforms,
Jesus.
it's there for a reason because it's really good stuff. You should definitely subscribe and watch and listen regardless of what platform you're using, because we're just gonna let this system work for us for a minute.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go watch some YouTube. I cannot believe how bad that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you know where you can find the Energy is Love podcast and video on YouTube.
On YouTube. I love you.
I love you.